Good morning, teacher.
Activity physically or mentally to achieve some result, that is called as a work. And what is energy? Energy is the ability to do that work. Now, as you all know that the energy is required to perform particular work. So both the terms are very much important for us. Now, what is work? An activity involving mentally or physically effort done in order to achieve a result is called as a work. I told you, to achieve a result, you are doing the work. For suppose, for example, your mother has given you a task to complete, and you are mentally and physically putting your efforts to complete that work, to complete that activity, that is known as work. Okay, then here you can see that the work is done with the help of lifting the book. But if you carry the books horizontally, that does not mean that you are performing some work. Okay, work means what? When you are doing physically and mentally something is done with the help of displacement, that time we can say that the work is done. Okay, then in this lesson we are going to see different forms of energy. So what are different forms of energy? Radiant energy, electrical energy, chemical energy, sound energy, thermal energy, nuclear energy, mechanical energy, and magnetic energy. So all these are the forms of energy. We are getting the different forms of energy in our day-to-day life. We are using these forms of energy. So today we are going to see these things one by one. Okay, now here you can see the child is doing something. The energy which is stored in the object to do specific state or position of the object is called as a potential energy. Means that boy is trying to perform some work with the help of an object. Okay, he is giving a perfect position or a shape to the object, and then he's performing some activity. This activity requires some energy. That energy is called as potential energy. Okay, understood, students? The energy which is stored in the object. Okay, in the object the energy is stored, but what you are doing, you are putting some force and applying that energy that on the object, that is called as a potential energy. Okay, then the second is kinetic energy. Now what is kinetic energy? You must have played with the marbles when you were small. Okay, you must have played with the marbles. What you do, you take one marble and you target the other marble with the same marble. So what happens here, we give energy to the marble by striking. So from one marble we are striking the other marble. So what we are actually doing, we are passing the energy from one marble to the another marble to change the motion, to change the displacement of the marble. Now the energy which is obtained from the motion is called as kinetic energy. Now as you all know, that energy is transferred from one marble to the another marble, and while the energy is being transferred, what happens, there is a displacement in the object, there is a displacement in the marble. So the energy which is obtained by the displacement of an object is called as a kinetic energy. Okay, I hope you have understood with the two terms, that is potential energy and kinetic energy. Now next is heat energy. Now you must have seen your mother performing some activities in your home. For example, activities mean in the sense she is cooking in the kitchen and she is using the heat energy. Now what is the heat energy used at home? That is gas stove, Okay, so these are the source of energy. Now stoves are not used much now in this now daily use. We are using gas, so in each and every house gases are there. Okay, now how the heat is transferred in the form of energy. Now when you boil the milk, what happens? The heat is produced by burning the fuel. When you light the gas with the help of lighter, what happens? It strikes and the heat energy starts, and whatever you cook the food, that is cooked with the help of this heat energy. So heat energy is used in kitchen all the time. So in the kitchen, whatever we cook the food with the help of the means of the gases, that is known as heat energy. Here what we are doing, we are transferring the heat in the form of energy. The heat is transferred in the form of energy. Okay, and also the heat which is heat is measured in calories. Okay, so whatever heat is transferred, that is measured in calories. Okay, so what is heat energy? Heat energy is used in the kitchen all the time. It is the heat which is used in the form of energy for cooking food. Even sunlight contains heat energy. When you're going in summer season, when you're going out, that time you feel very hot, and it seems that you get some small burns due to the sunlight. That means that the sunlight also consists of heat energy. So heat energy is produced in sunlight also, as well as in our kitchen also. Okay, so these are the examples of the heat energy. Then next, light energy. Now as you all know that the plants prepare their own food with the help of photosynthesis. Okay, with the help of photosynthesis, plants prepare their own food. But do you know, in the process of photosynthesis, what happened? The plant prepares the food with the help of the sunlight in the leaves, and it converts the light energy into the food energy and transports to the all parts of the plant. Okay, now we have been studying this photosynthesis from the chapter number 2. Okay, so what is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the process in which the plant prepare their food with the help of light energy, and this light energy is converted into food energy, and then the plant transfers the food with the help in the form of energy to the whole plant. So I hope you understood about the light energy. Till now we have studied about potential energy, kinetic energy, heat energy, and light energy. We have seen the 4 types of energy. So next energy is sound energy. Now, as you all know that there are different types of sound which are producing energy. For example, alarm, music. Whenever the music is playing, you immediately start dancing. So what happens? The sound energy makes you to feel dance. So the sound energy is the energy which is a form of energy. So alarm also, when you hear the sound of alarm, you quickly wake up and you stop the alarm, and then you perform the different activities. Even someone is speaking loudly, it attracts all the attraction towards the person who is talking. When the political leader is giving a speech, immediately all the peoples are attracted towards that sound, and they are listening very quietly. So these type of energy which is produced with the help of sound is called as sound energy. Now sound energy you can see in different machines also. Even washing machine, after completing the work of washing clothes, a beep is heard. Okay, even the machines which are in the hospitals, they are also making the noise. Okay, it is not a noise, it is a sound which is producing different types of energy. Okay, so this is about sound energy. Now the next type of energy is chemical energy. The energy which is obtained through the chemical action is called as chemical energy. Means here what happens? Chemical action takes between the two different things, and the energy which is generated, that is known as chemical energy. Now here I would like to give you the example of when the wood is burning. What happens? When the wood is burning, what happens? The chemical action takes place. As you all know, for burning, what is important? Oxygen is important. So oxygen is taking place. With the help of it, the fire is trying to extinguish. Okay, so now in this case, the energy which is obtained by the chemical action, now here the chemical action is done with the help of oxygen and the fire. So here the chemical action is taking place. So this type of chemical action which obtains energy is called as a chemical energy. Now we are bonfire, for example, bonfire. When you sit near the bonfire in the cold days, what happens? You get the energy, heat energy you get while sitting near the bonfire. In the same way, it also when the bonfire is on, that time what happens? The wood is reacting with some chemicals. That chemical action is taking place in the bonfire. So the energy which is obtained with the help of chemical action is called as a chemical energy. Okay, even the chemical energy you can see in the different batteries in our house. If the light goes, that time what happens? We are taking the help of the inverters. What are inverters? Inverters are the batteries. These are also chemically charged, and these are also a type of a chemical energy. Here chemical action takes place with the help of which the energy is generated. Okay, so batteries are also the example of the chemical energy. Now how the energy is transferred? Now to perform, as I told you that to perform any activity, for example, you are performing PT exercise, and if you are not eating any food, so will you have energy to perform the activity energetically? Sir bol rahe ki do the activity with the help of energy. And if you are not having a good breakfast or good lunch, so what will happen? You will be not able to perform the exercise energetically. So the energy will not be generated in your body. For generating the energy in our body, what is important? Food is important. Okay, so when we eat food, what happens? The food energy is transferred into mechanical energy. As you all know, the food breaks down into the smaller particles in our body, and they gives us chemical energy. And afterwards, the chemical energy is converted into kinetic energy, and then the kinetic energy is converted into potential energy. Here you can see the person lifting the weight. Okay, first for in the first picture, what do you see? He is generating the chemical energy. He is generating all the energy because he knows that he want to lift that weight. So he is generating all the energy in the body. That is known as chemical energy. And when the chemical energy is coming in action, that is known as kinetic energy. In the second figure, you can see that the weight has been lifted from the ground at a certain distance. And when the kinetic energy is completed and the person lifts the weight on his head, that means that the kinetic energy has been transferred into potential energy. Here you can see a very good example of transfer of energy. Here we have seen that the three types of energy which we have studied are coming together to perform some activity. Okay, so what is the work for this man in this activity? To lift the weight. That is the work. To perform the work, what is important? Energy is important. So he is generating the chemical energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy for the work to be done. Okay, this is about the transformation of energy. Then the next, again, I will like to give you the example that when your mother is ironing the clothes at home, what happens? Iron is a electrical energy. You have to attach the iron to the switchboard. So, and on the button. So, what will happen? The electric energy will convert it, the electric energy will start in the iron, and afterwards that electrical energy will be uh, converted into thermal energy. Thermal energy means heat energy, and that heat energy is then converted by the mechanical energy. Okay, that means what? पहले हम लोग क्या करते हैं? Iron we switched on to the electric board. So what happens? Electric energy start generating in the iron. Then once the iron has become hot, what we do? We iron the clothes. So when we iron the clothes, when you touch the clothes, what happen? You feel the heat energy. So the electrical energy is transferred into thermal energy. Now as the ironing is done by you, so the mechanical energy is done with the help of machine. So iron is the machine. That mechanical energy is doing the particular work. So here is the good example of the iron, how the electrical energy is generated to thermal energy and then to the mechanical energy. And when we switch on the fan, what happens? The electrical energy is converted into kinetic energy. What does the kinetic energy means? The displacement of the motion takes place in the object, that is called as kinetic energy. Okay, students. So just a second.